Good afternoon to all of you that are watching our Spring Fling Million coverage. It is brand new. This is the very first live thing you're seeing, and it's my beard blowing in the wind. Surprise, surprise, here at Las Vegas. But I am Chad Reynolds, and we are here live on bangshift.com for our exclusive coverage of bracketraces.com Spring Fling Million. And I got to thank Mark Williams Enterprises and Holly and Comp Camps for being our live broadcast sponsors here this weekend, as well as the presenting sponsors here at the Fling, Jegs, and Hoosier Tires. Who's your daddy? Hoosier Tires. Want to thank K&N, FST, and of course Optima. It is FST Tuesday here at the wonderful strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Oh, Nate H., my friend, you are Slim Shady, my friend, and I cannot wait to hear your lovely baritone voice here on the PA when you get off of work. Well, maybe not. Maybe you're already here at 6:30. You might be here now. I don't know if you're going to be here during the week or not. But I am here, and I am glad to be seen, Rapid Transit. I am. So if you're just joining us right now, I apologize for the late start. The reason is that, well, it rained. It rained a lot. Like a lot. And it just kept raining. It kept saying that it was going to stop raining, and then it kept raining, and it rained some more, but the racetrack is dry. The actual racing surface is dry and looking lovely, although I would imagine the track temp is like 4 degrees because it's chilly. It was all nice earlier. It's supposed to be all warm later, and now it's chilly and I'm cold. But we are drying the top end, the shutdown area, which is asphalt, and they haven't been focused on that for very long, so it shouldn't take too terribly long for them to get that all done. But hello to everyone that is in the chat and who is saying hello to me. We appreciate it for sure. We are going to be live this evening for the 48-car dragster shootout, which is going to be pretty cool, actually. I'm looking forward to that one. So that is the American Race Cars Brando Paint Shootout, and we're going to go to round 1 of that later, as you can see below in our handy-dandy graphic. But intermingled with that is going to be some time trials as well. So we're going to have both. So you guys will get to see all of that. Now, if they continue with a time trial later tonight after the racing is done in the shootout, we will not be live for that. So new for us this year, same as Mark and the gang at Motor Mania TV, is that we are no longer going to broadcast time trials except under special circumstances, because quite frankly, everybody just asks why are these cars running each other at different ETs and blah, 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 and it's because it's time trials and nobody wants to really watch that. So, when the shootout is done tonight, we will be done tonight, that is for sure. I genuinely hope it warms up. It is really chilly right now because over there, which is east, is where all the storm went that poured on us. And unfortunately, the wind is coming from that direction now, where all of the water is falling from the sky still, making the wind very chilly. It's like a giant swamp cooler, except without any of the heat that should have come along with it. So yeah, the beardometer is not happy right now. I got to tell you, this is a sign of things to come. I'm not going to be happy. McTaggart is in the house as well. He and I are going to tag team this one. So looking forward to that. Thanks, Charles. Good to see you too. Everybody that's on, thank you. Love it. Appreciate all the hellos. We will be bringing you all of the live action here this week. So we are going to be live this evening. We will be live tomorrow and Thursday and Friday for the million, and then again on Saturday. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday are each $30,000 to win. And then in normal Spring Fling Million fashion, there's always some twists and cool stuff, and that is tonight the 48 car dragster shootout. So that is for an American Race Cars Brando painted dragster. It's a roller, but it's beautiful, and that thing. There was a lottery, so everybody that wanted to enter that race had to put their name in, and I believe it was an $800 entry for tonight. So everybody had to put their name in, and then they chose 48 cars at random to pay their entry and race for the for that dragster. So that is going down. They are currently spraying the racetrack, so that's a good sign. And Shelby, hello, hello. When are you coming? Ooh. Yes, Rapid Transit. You need to order one of these hoodies. That's for sure. So I was hanging out with my buddy Trevor and the always lovely and entertaining Trey Summers earlier, and we were having a great time sitting in the trailer, trying not to get washed away or freeze to death. That's really where we were at. But you know, it was one of those things where we made it through. We were successful. We lived to race another day. Trevor and Trey were playing on the practice tree. I didn't want to embarrass them, so I didn't partake. Oh, Shelby, you are coming Thursday. Excellent. Yes, the weather looks great all week. Honestly, the weather was not. There was only like a 20% chance of rain, and it was for like 2 hours here until about noon, and then it started to change rapidly, and then it got all nasty. So yeah. Don the Kid, I will not be at Sacramento for the Western States, but I might be able to be, but I'm not. It is not shoe weather, it is flip-flop weather, as I always wear the flip-flops, so yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at some stats here. Oh. Finnegan was looking for an FE motor, but he's looking for one like here, I believe, in SoCal. So you'd have to hit him up. I have no idea. It's nice there in Anchorage. I'll bet it's lovely. Okay, we're going to roll a commercial and we shall return momentarily.
How do you improve on a classic? Modernize it with Sniper Fuel Injection from Holley. For only $9.99, Sniper eliminates cold start issues, hesitations, vapor lock, flooding, and fuel odors. Sniper installs with just 4 wires and self-tunes while you drive. Sniper replaces most 4-barrel carbs and is now available in a 2-barrel. Install a Sniper system, then get in, start it up, and enjoy driving your ride more today.
The quality is obvious. That's why Mark Williams high-torque axles are the most trusted in drag racing. MW axles are forged from superior alloys and are tempered for higher strength and ductility. Each axle is custom machined for the exact application, including length, taper, and spline. Special attention is paid to the splines, which are true involute for more efficient engagement. Weight is important in drag racing, and MW gives you 3 options allowing you to cut unsprung axle weight almost in half. Invest in the best. Mark Williams high-torque axles.
Industry-leading cams don't happen by accident. Ours are the result of 40-plus years of innovation. The horsepower delivered by our camshafts are determined long before they make it to the grinding process. At Comp Cams, nothing escapes consideration. From research and design to testing, manufacturing, and quality control. When it comes to our products, no detail is too small. It's what sets us apart. It's why people have put their trust in us for over 4 decades. Comp Cams, no comparison.
All right, we are back. Okay, so there's some of you that are asking, did Nathan make tonight's field? Michael Jeanette is asking. And I am not being snarky when I tell you this, but if anybody asks if anybody is in the field still, truthfully, there will probably be 2 or 3 people that I know the answer to, and that's not one of them. I will undoubtedly not have a clue because it's just cars going down the racetrack. I don't have any computer or any way to check what the who's going what round or any of that stuff. It's just whatever we can see from here. So we're gonna have to wait. So you'll have to look on social media for round by round results as they come up. But unfortunately, we will not be able to give those to you or help you with who is in or is not in. With the exception of a couple of friends of ours that I will try and pay attention to. So there you go. We are still a few minutes away from racing, folks, so we're going to button up a couple other little things. And then be ready. They've started calling cars to the lanes. They did a first call, so I'm expecting Peter to make another one here in the next few minutes. So we'll see. If you are just joining us, sorry for the delay in getting started. It was raining earlier, and so we had to wait for the rain to stop, for them to dry this racetrack out. And it's getting dangerously close to dry, and so we will be racing here shortly. Hang with us, and we'll have racing action coming to you before too long. I think you build cars in your dragster. Because what it is you're running a dragster.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, this is a healthy mix. So some of the kind of more radical door cars, the green darts down at the end.
Jumps early by 28 thousandths of a second. Right lane jumped early by 7 thousandths of a second, but on the right side, we're going to end up with a 4.650 second run, 147 miles an hour. For Carl, he's going to end up with a 5010 at 136 miles. I got to say what up to Umbrella Man. I don't know if, looks like the word coming in from the chat bleachers is that they are not able to hear the announcer up here, but we'll see where we get. Chad's still working his way through that deal. He'll get it figured out. I promise you. How about Luis Peña Sr. out of San Antonio, Texas, over on the left side? I mean, very cool. Front engine dragster over on the left side. Goes 506, 135. Front engine right goes 540 with a 2 at 125 miles an hour. It looks like we are down to the last 4 cars in the continuation, at least not the last 4 cars, but the last 4 that we're going to run for right now. In the continuation of our first session of time trials. Again, yellow sticker dragsters from the first session of time trials. Richard Rhoda out of North Branch, Minnesota. With the Minnesota Rotas over on the Pennzoil side of the racetrack. So we're going Speedway goes 521.8, 129 miles an hour. Richard Rhoda goes 5.129 at 134 miles an hour. And that's going to bring up Sean Hart and Monty Rice. Sean, coming down out of Layton, Utah. 21-year-old tweener who makes it a habit of running down here at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as many times as he can. And matter of fact, he picked himself up a big check at the Thanksgiving Bracket National Race that we held back here in November. I believe he was the guy who won it all on the last night of the race, picked up that final big check and threw it in his trailer to take home to Layton, Utah. As they continue on with their practice laps, 4.903, 138 miles an hour for Monty. Sean Hart, 4.94.6. at 137 miles an hour. And that was our last pair in our time run as we go ahead and continue on through that. Now, we will have more of those time runs coming up here in a little while, but we are going to go ahead and interrupt the time trial activity. And we are going to go with round number 1 of the shootout. It is the American Race Cars Brando Custom Paint round number 1. Again, 48 cars have entered into the field. And our first pair The official voice of the Las Vegas Strip at LVMS, Nate Hershey, is going to take you through round number one. We appreciate Nate coming and kind of saving the day here. Nate, my voice was starting to get a little weak towards the end of the day, and you came and kind of saved the day in the nick of time as we get ready for round number one of the shootout. So Nate Hershey announces some NHRA races, and he's also the official voice of LVMS, and here he is. Well, thank you very much, Peter. I appreciate that. Dustin D. Long out of Mitchell, South Dakota, taking over the left side of the racetrack, and Shane Thompson by going 008 on the red side. 008 ends Shane Thompson's chase. For the dragster, Dustin D. Long goes 4.607 on a 4.62 after he was 0.19 on the tree. So Dustin getting the opportunity to advance at round number one as Anthony Broussard is going to roll up in the Opal. The Opal coming in out of Somerset, California, going up against the little Vega over on the right side of the racetrack. Still working on getting the name of that Jake Howard. Sounds like oh yeah, moving in now because he's definitely coming back for round number two. 598 on a 595 for the Vega, 008 on the tree. Anthony Broussard had a 19 light and goes 633 on a 630. Blue Vega wins it by 8 thousandths of a second. So an 8-thou stripe after 008 on the tree, and the Vega grabbing the binders at the finish line, picks up the win light. As Jim Shelton, all right, I got to figure out who was in Shane's dragster earlier, because there's like 3 of them out here. But you got the orange Vega, excuse me, the orange Nova going up against Jim Shelton. Shelton fouls it out and then turns the car sideways on the starting line. Shelton was 12 red, made a hard right turn, headed towards the Christmas tree. Got immediately off the throttle, straightens it out. But unfortunately for the pickup truck, all right, gotcha, Jake. Boots dozer in the Vega, but that thing went all kinds of sideways, and I'm talking about the pickup truck of Jim Shelton. Little S10 goes S squirrely. Shane Thompson's ride, trip zip perfect on the tree, and then goes 504 at 137 miles an hour on a 505 dial-in. So a perfect bolt, 3 thou under after the red light started Jim Shelton. And a quick little touch up on the starting line, and we will return to action. You know, basically word coming in from up on the starting line, and racers, just something to kind of think about here, especially for the cars that have been sitting out there. If you've had them sitting out in the rain at all, you're probably going to want to check up underneath the fenders, make sure that you've got all the water out from underneath your cars, because unfortunately it looks like that maybe would have had the impact there on the S10, got up there and dropped a little water on itself. And ended up going a little bit sideways. So they got the torch out up in front of them. Thompson's Nova picked up the last win. And as soon as we get the word, we'll go ahead and set that all up. So again, round number one of the American Race Car Tuesday Dragster Shootout, brought to you by the folks at Brando Custom Paint, 2000 American roller chassis with a custom paint job already on it. Essentially, whoever walks away from this evening's race, as Lori Warden did last year, will get that brand new race car. The only thing you need to supply is the powertrain. Put your motor of choice in it, your transmission of choice in it. Pretty much, you'll be ready to race next time. We roll down here. evening and welcome to everybody that has joined us out here at the Strip of Las Vegas Motor Speedway live and in person. Essentially on Sunday, as we were finishing up our divisional race, we already had about 40 to 50 rigs that were lined up getting ready to park. By the time parking was done last night, I believe they said they pulled in about 300 rigs or so, and that number has gone steadily up all day long. And those of you that are joining us live on the Bang Shift feed, we are here on an FST Tuesday. Justin Cooper lining up over to the left side. The dragster out of Medical Lake, Washington. 49 is the dial in the topless Corvette. The big old roll cage hanging out of it, dialed in at 675. Significant head start to the Corvette as off we go. 6 thousandths separated him in reaction time. Dragster's going to go 492 on a 49 dial-in. Corvette got there first, took 62 thou with the stripe, broke out 673 on a 675. As Justin Cooper will grab the win light, we're going to hold up here just for a quick little second before we send Shane Carr down the racetrack. So we've got a moment of pause. We're going to just take a quick little look at that, but it is an FST Tuesday here at the K&N Spring Fling Million, presented by Optima Batteries. We're expecting this to be one of the biggest and baddest spring hell here at the Strip Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Once again, we did the final cycle. Another race together that pretty much has been blowing up Facebook. It's been blowing up social media as everybody's been posting their travels coming from wherever they are in the country. Of course, we got racers here representing Canada and all over the United States again, and we are just getting things underway again today. Hey, we had a little bit of weather that blew through the area, put some rain down on the track. They got that cleaned up, got that dried out, and now we expect that the remainder of the week, pretty much from what the forecast is saying, we're not going to have any amount of real worry in that type of situation. So we're really hoping that whatever the weatherman is saying holds true. We're looking at pretty much just some beautiful days of racing ahead of us for Wednesday, which is going to be our Maytag Silver State Refrigeration Wednesday when we put $30,000 on the line. Of course, Race Pack Thursday. You got the FTI Performance Saturday. And, of course, it is the Silver State Refrigeration $1 Million Friday that's going to be coming up here as well. But it is going to be pretty cool between what we got going on. So as we continue to roll our way through here, just taking a look at the racetrack at the El Camino, waiting patiently. Got Sean Carr over in his dragster. And we're going ahead and just taking a quick little look down there. So again, there is so much going on. As we get deeper into the week, I mean, when we start tomorrow's race, we've got over $60,000 in hardcore products that are going to be going out the door, given directly to the racers. Of course, Sean is back here. He's going to be making sure that he's got the prize vault all taken care of. We've got the treasure chest bonus that's going to be going out to our Pro 38 categories. And again, we've got the Fling text announcements that are going to be something that you're going to want to make sure that you are part of. If you have not yet signed up to get those announcements, text the word Fling to 74121. Essentially, at that point, you'll get lane calls, you'll get race updates, you'll get announcements as far as any potential schedule changes. So again, you just want to go ahead and text the word Fling to 74121, and we'll be happy to send all of those texts directly to your phone to make sure that you get things taken care of. But there is so much to do. I mean, the flyer this week is just jam-packed with information. Of course, today we had our started off with our time trials. Again, it's courtesy of the folks at FST Carburetors. Had our time trial day. We've got the shootout that's taking place right now, and this one a little bit different than it is down in Bristol or down at Galat. And the fact that what we're looking at is we've got the Pro 38 category that runs here as well. All right, top end has been evaluated, and as we get things ready to go, Shane Thompson, who's got 3 cars, and I found out that, again, all right, so Shane's in his Nova, Shane Carr is in his Dragster, and then you said it was who again in the blue car? Kevin Heffington. All right, so we'll get that straight. But Gage Cameron's in the El Camino on the left side, dialed in at 7:15. Shane Carr dialed in at 4.40 seconds in the Carr family, who was one of those that was kind of keeping everybody abreast of their travels. Made a stop down in Southern California before they rolled up here to do a little racing. Away goes Gage Cameron, El Camino. Oh, how about Shane Carr picking up the win light? Gage Cameron was way down the racetrack before the red lights showed up in his rear view mirror. Again, we have got True Start in effect here this weekend, and unfortunately for Cameron, 004 on the red side, goes 7:18 on a 7:15. Shane Carr, 008 and 2 above, 4:42 on the 4:40. That was going to bring up Aaron Johnson at a Springdale, Arkansas, and the little blue Corvette. He's been hanging out here racing over the last couple of weekends. Made an appearance at the National, made an appearance at the Divisional, make an appearance here at the Spring Fling. Heck, you might as well just stick through and make an appearance next weekend at Muscle Cars at the Strip, just because. 6:35 to dial in for the Corvette over on the right side. For Aaron Johnson, 4:92 as we continue to run our way through round number 1 of the Tuesday Dragster Shootout, racing for that brand new American race car with a custom paint by the folks at Brando. $40,000 is what that dragster's worth. Is give or take a few. How about 4 thou separating them in reaction time, and a 6:34 and a 6:35 for the Corvette? No good. Aaron Johnson, 24 thou on the tree, 496 on a 492. Let the Corvette have the stripe, and he took 5 thou too much. Took 5 hun at the finish line. Needed to take 45 thou or less as Corey Gallitti. Sitting back here in the starting, or in the water box, is going to get pushed back. Unfortunately for Gallitti and the guys, making the haul out of Spring, Texas. The first elimination round, not moving the way they wanted to shoot at all. Gallitti gets pushed off. Dragster on the right side, 5:18 on a 5:20 after he's 0:51 on the tree. So Gallitti's car, ugh. Whatever it was that prevented the car from making it much farther out of the water box, they're going to have to go back, take a look at it, and get it figured out. Again, we've got round number 1 for the Dragster Shootout underway right now. 48 cars, dragsters, door cars, whatever it might be, all in competition. And a reminder that True Start is in use here today. So especially in those situations where you've got one car that's getting a pretty significant head start, we're going to see them get past the tree before we find out what the true color of the bulb is. And again, if you've got 2 cars that leave early, the lesser of the 2 infractions is going to be declared the winner. It's definitely a fun thing to watch, and it's definitely interesting to get figured out. Now, I am going to have to find out from Chris Northup what exactly the story is, and I'm sure a lot of people already know whatever it is, but basically, he's kind of using that hashtag funny car Chris. I'm going to have to figure out what that's all about. Northup out of Boise, Idaho, 5:03. And the Guess Who Racing ride on the right side. Lane Dickin at 11 in Tennessee, 4:48. Lane making a long haul to be out here. Running with the Fling racing for the Dragster. Finish line, this one's going to go to Lane Dickin, 009. Take 14 thou at the stripe. Grabs himself 4:51 on a 4:48. Chris Northup was 21 on the tree. And 3 hun above, 5:06 on a 5:03. Unfortunately, Northup not going to advance out of round number 1. That's going to bring up, I think that's Aaron Markham. Isn't it? Making the return in the pickup truck. Again, still working on getting all of those names in here, and that is something that we will get figured out before we get too deep into this game. But it is quite a show out here. I promise you that. I'll tell you what's making it interesting is, a little extra humidity in the air this time of year here in the high desert. Not something that we normally have to deal with. Look at this, having to wait to find out that they're both green. Dragster leads on the chase of the truck, 462 on a 460. As Aaron Markham takes 83 thou at the stripe and breaks out 34 thou. 681 on a 685. Aaron Markham bows out in round number 1. Dragster 62 on a 60 gets the win light. So we're going to bring out the battle of the generationally separated Camaros. Brian Watts, one of the D6 cars coming out of Pasco, Washington, lining up 638 over on the right side. New School Camaro down 646. Win light's going to go to Brian Watts. He was 2 under, getting there second. 25 on the tree in 636 on a 638 lights up the scoreboard for the win. New School Camaro, 22 green and then 643. Took 9 thou at the stripe, broke out by 26 thou. So 6 thou difference in the breakout math. Brian Watts gets the win light as Scott Richardson and Larry Eriksmoen wait patiently. Just a quick little torch job on the starting line before Richardson out of Kentucky and Eriksmoen out of Tennessee. You'd think that, Kentucky and Tennessee, they might find someplace a little bit closer to home to race, but a little bit closer to home and racing this weekend is not the Fling, so why would you stop there when you could come all the way to Vegas?
All right, 159. I'll go ahead and start riding.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan. Oh,
All right. Hey, just another little reminder, because we've had it happen kind of a second time. There was a lot of water that hit the ground here today. There was a lot of water that landed on a lot of race cars here today. And especially if you were in a door car, there is a tendency for some of that water to hide up under the fenders or hide in places that you never thought that it would be hiding. So what we want to make sure is if you've got a door car, you're sitting out in the staging lanes, if you're getting ready to get out, just double check it. Have somebody get under there, get the towel, shake it out, make sure, because we've had kind of another one that dropped a little water on the starting line. I know it's kind of one of those deals. For those of us that live here in the desert, we're going, why are we having to deal with this? I don't get this. What's this weird stuff falling from the sky? We don't like it. But every once in a while we have to deal with it. That's why we live in the desert, is because we don't like it. As a matter of fact, whenever it starts to rain, I run for cover because I don't like it. But either way, again, if you've got a door car that's out there, please just get out and double check. Just check it again. That would be tremendously awesome. So Scott Richardson, he's got a 507 dial showing on the Summit scoreboard. Larry Eriksmoen grabs himself 8 thou advantage on the tree, and it won't be enough to hold on. Eriksmoen, 21 green, dead 5, taking 20 thou at the stripe. Picks up the win light, advances into round number 2 of the American Race Car Shootout here on a Tuesday night. As the K&N Spring Fling Million gets underway, Scott Richardson goes 510 on a 507, 3 above the dial. After his 013 on the tree is now it's Jennifer Weens. Jennifer, the better half, the other half, yeah, I said it right the first time. The better half of the Ted Weens Tire and Auto group, lining up on the left side, dialed in at 451. 437. The dragster just kind of looping away over on the right side. Right. Jen Weens, 454 on a 451. She was 053 on the tree. That was 12 thou behind the 041 over on the right side. But the right lane took 52 thou at the stripe, breaks out 5 thou, bows out in round number 1 is Dan Northup and Marco Paravalaris. Maybe it's Northrop. I'll double check that one. He's out of Pipersville, Pennsylvania. 486, dial in left side. Right lane, Marco Paravalaris. Marco, who has been on just an absolute tremendous tear over the last couple of weeks here at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Identical reaction time. Marco drops in round number 1, Dan Northrop. 006, dead 8, take 14 thou at the stripe. Marco was 006 and 22 thou above, as he's behind 14 thou at the finish line. So Dan for the win, as the Pipersville, Pennsylvania ride drops the national event winner from 2 weeks ago in Super Comp. Bring out another couple of cars with, still working. Not gonna do it. Gonna be prudent. The American Race Cars and Brando Paint Shootout round number 1. Hey, again, for those of you joining in and watching on the live feed, I absolutely agree with you. Ain't nothing better in the world than free live drag racing on a Tuesday night double breakout scenario here. Dragster's going to light up the scoreboard. 461 on a 463 was 11 on the tree. Opposite side, behind 7 thou in reaction time with an 018 light. Took 5 thou at the stripe. And breaks out to be 26 thou under, 417 on a 517 on a 520 for the door car, and no good. As now Matt Lee brings his dragster up on the left side. Dragster on the right, dialed in at 499. Matt dialed in at 491. 0.08 of a second head start given to the right lane. Again, are we still worried about, ain't no sound out there for the chat room? For the live feed? Matt Lee, 003 red light done. Then goes 493 on a 491. So the 003 red, Matt's done. 497 on a 499 for the dragster on the right side. And as we continue our way through round number 1, again, just for those of you watching along on the Bang Shift live feed, I wish you were here too, Mr. Dragster Jeff. It'd be cool to have you out here racing along with us. Or sit up here in the booth, whatever you want. But as our next two line them up, 458 dial in left side, 41 dial in right side. Again, huge, and I mean huge, thanks to the folks at Jegs and Hoosier, Optima Batteries for bringing you the live feed here this weekend. Chad, of course, is going to be atop the scissor lift throughout the entire event. How about 458 on a 458? 14 on the tree, getting there second, lights up the scoreboard, dead 5. The 009 on the right side of the racetrack took 22 thou at the stripe and broke out 12 thou. 479 on a 481. What's up, old shoe? Anyway, so with the Spring Fling Million underway, live racing on a Tuesday night. Come on, Derek. We'll take that too. Vinny Domino. Oh. And Hunter Patton. What's Crockett RX? Is that supposed to be like Crockett, Texas? I'm thinking that's supposed to be Crockett, Texas. Vinny Domino out of Staten Island. Did he have to take the ferry to get here? If you're on Staten Island, do you have to take the ferry to get here? Yeah? So he has to put like the rig, the whole thing on the ferry, get it across, and then get on the road to head here? Are you serious, or are you messing? I was going to say, come on, man. There's got to be like a tunnel or something, right? There's better options than the Staten Island ferry. Hunter Patton getting the win light over Vinny Domino. Hunter was 002. And then goes 464 on a 461. Vinny was 17 green and 84 on a 78. Vinny was off. Oh yeah, Rod, we'll definitely get that thing. We'll definitely get that thing going. The swear jar will be in effect this weekend. Now I'm going to have to talk with Sean about that, but we'll get that all figured out. But yes, we'll get that worked out. So our next two rolling in here, I think I see Tom Bayer. Yeah, that would be why I see Tom Bayer. Ooh! 19th out between them in reaction time, and a 001, 466 on a 468 is going to win it. So the 66 on a 68 take 12th out with the stripe. Got there first, broke out by less. Over on the left side, 20 on the tree, and then 490 on a 493. And again, my certain, how's the word I want to say here? Kind of please take my reassurances that they are working feverishly. They stayed up late last night putting in tech cards. Got back out here early in the day, and there are just so many of them that still working on getting that. I don't know that that's Kenny Snow. It's somebody in Tom Bayer's car. Taking on the left side, Steve Umberger. Glad to see you are tuning back in as well. Well, Mr. Goodman down here with the rest of the group. 006, 501 on a 500. Tom Bayer's car lights up the scoreboard left side. Put together an 18 thousandths package, 006 and 12 thou above, to lockout driver on the right side. Unfortunately, 028 on the tree to an 18 pack over on the left side. Not going to get it done is Gabe Hernandez and Andy Taylor. Next up, Hernandez coming in out of Hermosillo, down in Sonora, Mexico, 457. Dial in left side. Andy Taylor on the right side. Out of Belfair, Washington, dialed in at 458. So 100th the difference here. Might as well be no diff. Just dial him heads up. Let's go. Ooh. Hernandez fouls out 4 thousandths of a second. Win light goes to Andy Taylor. Taylor, 17, dead 4. Gets the win light. Gabe had fouled it away and runs 466 on a 457. So Hernandez is going to have to take a little look at that before they come back for round number 1 tomorrow morning. And again, kind of taking a look at where we are at with time runs. They got through a good majority of the first session of time runs earlier in the day before the rain set in. They called back the remainder of our yellow sticker dragsters that hadn't yet had the opportunity to make the run. Sent a few pair down the track before we got to where we are now, and that is right smack dab in the middle of round number 1 for the Tuesday Dragster Shootout for that American Race Cars car that's got the custom paint job on it from Brando. Cassie Pennington on the left side, 472 for the team out of Texas. 493, the dial in on the right side, and it's going to be the dragster on the right that walks away with a victory. 17 green, dead 5 gets it done. Cassie took a 6 thou stripe and ended up breaking out 15 thousandths of a second. She goes 4705 on the 472. So that's going to bring up Jeff Burns. Burnsy out of Tennessee. Lining up left side, 445 the dial in. Quicker of the two cars, sitting in the right lane. Dialed in at 434. Burns in complete control, 004 and 15 thou above. 446 and a 445 for Burns. Took 24 thou at the stripe. Reaction time on the right side was 042. So with 38 thou in his pocket, Jeff Burns rolls right on down to the far end of the racetrack. I think we are getting down towards the end of our first 48. Isn't that like a TV show, like trying to figure out who did the first 48? It's like a crime show. Yeah, that's what it was. Like they try to figure out like in the first 48 hours so this was our first 48. This was the first, not only that, this was the first 48 of the Flings. Start talking about elimination. First 48 of the Flings. Seventh foul between them in reaction time. Advantage and win line goes to the right lane. How about 12 on the tree? Takes 6 down with the stripe and dead 3. 15 total. Locks out the left lane. It was 19 on the tree.
Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Pro 38. Pro 38 to stage lanes 1 and 2 for your second time run session. Pro 38 to WW Williams Pro 38 drivers to stage lanes 1 and 2 for your second time run session.
Well, I believe we are down to our final 2. In the first 48, Andy Schmall. Pretty sure that's Andy over in the yellow Beretta on the right side of the racetrack. Going up against the green Duster in left lane. 597 dial in left side. 623 dial in for Andy Schmall over in the right. And the last of our 24 that will return for round number 2 is going to be decided right now. Womp womp at the finish line in 6:10 on a 597. Going to get it done. Andy is going to be kicking himself based on the reaction time. Started with a 1. And as you heard that thing really rolling, win line's going to go to the green Duster. So round number 1 of the American Race Cars Brando Paint Shootout is complete. Once again, Pro 38. Pro 38. Your attention, please. Pro 38. For round number 2 of time trials, we've called you into the staging lanes. Pro 38, round number 2 of time trials. Go ahead and join us in the staging lanes. You got the call. I believe we've called you into lanes 1 and 2. Come on down, Pro 38. So again, continue to run on through here in round number 1 of time trials. We are wrapping things up as Diane Pettit and Bradley Johnson going to be the first couple to resume time trials. So as they get them set up, on the starting line. Again, Pro 38, you have been called to make your way back into the staging lanes, please. And again, just a big thanks to the folks at Jegs, to Farron and the guys down there at Hoosier Tire, who are sponsoring our live feed that's going to be with you all weekend long. Lloyd Coker and Rod Belsham pulling up to the line to make their runs. Again, we've got a ton of dragsters that are lined up back in the staging lanes. Those are going to be those that have not yet made the run in round number 1. Fortunately, Rod leaves before the tree is activated, so he's going to just kind of make a parade lap. As Lloyd Coker goes 495 at 139 miles an hour. Yeah, I'm kind of looking along and watching in the chat bleachers, watching as all the folks are chiming in. It looks like, I mean, come on, for a Tuesday night, it's 7:30 now here on the West Coast. That means it's, 10:30 out east. 9:30, 8:30, kind of in other parts of the country, and folks still you know, you're talking about Tuesday night. You're talking primetime TV, and everybody's got their TVs off, and they're watching Bang Shift live feed because of Jags and because of Hoosiers. So thank you. Because, well, yeah, because of Chad. I mean, I absolutely, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm giving Chad all the credit in the world. Oh, Nathan Thornsley out of Palmer, Arkansas. He's going to go 492 at 139 miles an hour. Right lane car looked like it left a little dust on the starting line, but they're going to take a close look at it. And whoa, look at this. We're going to get to the end of the burnout. We're going to jump right out, start taking off the helmet, and the reason for that, if you look very, very close, and Chad, I don't know if you can zoom in on that, but you're going to want to. Both rear tires came unseated. They are off the beads. Totally flat. Chad, can you zoom in on that after the run? That is just weird. Not just lost a tire, both of them. So Donnie Burleson going to get the solo run as Ryan Hunt's car out of El Paso, Texas, in the middle of the burnout, both tires come off the blade. Yeah, holy flat tires, Batman. I'm not taking credit for that one. That was J749 Dragster, so I don't know if Chad can zoom in on that or what, but that is just odd. So we've got our fire and safety team headed down this direction, as they are going to come down here, and we're going to have to throw the jacks underneath of the car. And for those of you that are kind of watching along, the shot that Chad is getting shows one side of the car. The other side of the car looks exactly the same. I mean, I don't want to make light of a situation like that, but I mean, it's obviously scary. It's not good. Yeah. I mean, if anything, as Pete Biondo's sitting up here beside me, he says at least it happened on the starting line, because something like that happening down half track or even at the finish line would really have gone bad. But, you know, the way that the dragster's sitting there, and when Chad zoomed in on it, it kind of reminded me the other day I was sitting at the stoplight, watching one of those cars with the airbags on it. It just looks different. Anyway, whoa, let's see here. How am I going to say this? K&N Baraloo? I'm going to think it's Baraloo? K&N? You know what? If you're with the team out of Conroe, Texas, and it's somebody, please help me with that one. I want to make sure I get it right. It's either K&N or K&N. And it's maybe Baraloo. I may be totally wrong with that, but a pronunciation correction on that would be very, very welcome. So we're going to continue to run some solos here on the left lane just for a quick moment, and then we are going to back that flatbed up on that side. I think Axford, that's probably what you're looking at. As a matter of fact, I am seeing more and more people kind of chime in on that. Talking about maybe got a set of little bubbas out there and needed the bead locks. We'll see. At least that's what the feedback is that we are getting. So we have got the rollback out on the starting line, and we're going to get this taken care of. While they get the stuff taken care of down there, once again, we have completed, just kind of a quick little heads up, we have completed round number 1 of the Dragster Shootout. Our first 48 have been down the racetrack for that American race cars with that Brando custom paint on it. They have been down there, and we've got 24 that have been decided here in a little while. We'll start bringing them back, but in the meantime, we are continuing our time trial runs from earlier in the day. Again, we were able to get through our Pro 38, got through our door car, got through most of our dragsters until, unfortunately, we had a little weather that rolled through the area. Had to wait that out. Didn't take very long once we were able to start the track drying process, because we got a little favor from Mother Nature where the sun came out, started helping us dry things up pretty quickly. We were able to get the track back into condition. We sent a few pair of time runs down just to get things warmed up. And then we brought in round number 1 of that American Race Cars Dragster Shootout. We got through that. We have resumed time trials here at the K&N Spring Fling presented by Optima Batteries. We are going to continue to run through, then finish up this first round of time trials. We have already called our Pro 38 cars for their second session of time trials back into the staging lane, so we are looking at getting that out there. And I'm telling you, just from what we've seen already, anybody that's here on property already knows this. They know that the number of cars that are here, the number of racers that are here, the caliber of racers that are here, you are certainly going to have to be on your A game. You're certainly going to have to get things figured out in order to go deep into the rounds here this week, but we've got a lot happening. So with that, we're going to let the fire and safety team do what they got to do down on the racetrack. I'm going to take a little break, finish up some dinner, and we'll be back here in just a moment. All right, and guys, while it's quiet, for those of you who are entered in the practice tree race, for those of you who have prepaid Kyle for the practice tree race is getting ready to begin at Race Kid and Chris Northrop's trailer right down the main road, coming towards the starting line there. Look for a crowd. So if you are entered in a practice tree race, it is getting ready to go on right now, so you can start heading over to Race Kid and Chris Northrop's trailer, right down the main road, coming towards the starting line. We're probably right around 300, 400 feet out. You'll see a crowd starting to form there, so you guys can start making your way over there, and I believe there are a few openings. So they're going to be battling it out on a practice tree for a couple of spots at the Spring Fling Million, for the Spring Fling Million main event. So if you entered in that race, you can head over to Race Kids parking area. And if you're not entered in, there are, I believe, just a few spots available. So that's starting now as we tow off the dragster that had a little issue with the rear tires. Get right back at time runs here. We called Pro 38 for your second time run session. Should be in staging lanes 1 and 2.
How do you improve on a classic? Modernize it with Sniper Fuel Injection from Holley. For only $9.99, Sniper eliminates cold start issues, hesitations, vapor lock, flooding, and fuel odors. Sniper installs with just 4 wires and self-tunes while you drive. Sniper replaces most 4-barrel carbs and is now available in a 2-barrel. Install a Sniper system, then get in, start it up, and enjoy driving your ride more today.
The quality is obvious. That's why Mark Williams high-torque axles are the most trusted in drag racing. MW axles are forged from superior alloys and are tempered for higher strength and ductility. Each axle is custom machined for the exact application, including length, taper, and spline. Special attention is paid to the splines, which are true involute for more efficient engagement. Weight is important in drag racing, and MW gives you 3 options allowing you to cut unsprung axle weight almost in half. Invest in the best. Mark Williams high-torque axles.
Industry-leading cams don't happen by accident. Ours are the result of 40-plus years of innovation. The horsepower delivered by our camshafts are determined long before they make it to the grinding process. At Comp Cams, nothing escapes consideration. From research and design to testing, manufacturing, and quality control. When it comes to our products, no detail is too small. It's what sets us apart. It's why people have put their trust in us for over 4 decades. Comp Cams, no comparison.
All right, well, I do have to put a thank you out to Ryan Gleghorn, who stopped up here, gave me the pronunciation I was looking for, so I appreciate that. And it was K&N Spring. So I got it. It was very appreciated, or much appreciated, that he popped up here and provided that information. So by the time he gets back up here again, I'll completely forget. That's just the way it's going to be. I'll do my best. By the time we get done with this whole window is going to be covered in Post-it notes with phonetic pronunciations. White chalk, like a playboard. Paul Bourne taking over the right side of the racetrack as we resume our time trials here on Tuesday for the K&N Spring Fling. Once again, just kind of rolling our way through the yellow sticker dragsters, wrapping that up from the first go-round. Our Pro 38 cars have been called back in the stage lane for round number 2, unfortunately. Ooh. Paul Bourne moving around a lot down the racetrack. 524 at 131 miles an hour. 574.2, 121 miles an hour on the left side is Brady White, Jeff Watts. Gonna roll up now, Brady. one of the Canadian racers coming down out of Edmonton. Jeff Watts winning out of Richland up in Washington. So both cars rolling out of Division 6, trying to match up with each other a time or two on the trail. Brady's going to need to tighten up the reaction time a little bit. Had a 133 bolt, goes 508 at 133 miles an hour. Jeff Watts at the 034 bulb, and then 532, 128, and that 034 bulb, oh, by the way, was on the red side. As Gilberto Granado Leal out of Monterrey, Mexico. So it's Gilberto Leal taking over the left side, right side, one of the Division 4 cars that has decided to hang out. .453, 151 miles an hour for Gilberto. 475.8, 144 miles an hour on the right side, and we are continuing on through our time trials. Once again, Pro 38 should be back in the staging lanes. I believe you are all back there, and next two in and set. Trip zip on the tree, 475 at a .144 over in the right lane. Taking a long way down the track. Left lane is going to be 068, 473 is Jose Ortega. Northern Monterrey, Mexico-based cars. Going to pull up over on the left side. Again, just doing some time runs here. Making our way through the remainder of our yellow sticker cars. Ortega had the 11 bulb. It goes 496 at a .137, 457 at 150 miles an hour on the right side after a 9th hour early leave. We'll bring up Eric Golden and Brandon Taylor. Taylor coming in at a Roanoke down in Alabama, and Eric Golden at an Airdrie. Up in Alberta. Golden's been down here racing over the last couple of weekends. Made an appearance at the national event, stuck around for the divisional, and has decided that, I guess as long as you made the drive all the way down from Alberta, you might as well stick around for 3 or 4 weeks. I think he may be even checking into next weekend's event, Muscle Cars here for Strip, to see if they've got something that possibly he could run and start there. Golden 542 at 88 miles an hour. Brandon Taylor 005 and then 4700 at .146. That's going to bring out Brandon Lundeen. And Renault Martinez Diaz. Rail coming in out of Marine, Mexico. 2010 Race Tech chassis lining up on the right side for Lundeen coming out of Murray, Utah. I know this car was one of those projects that they were working on, trying to make sure that they had it just in time to make it down here for the divisional and then stick around here for the fling. So between Brandon and the girls that are going to be running out here, run all over on the right side. And hey, racers, just a reminder. Again, remember it is 1 run per. Ooh, look out. Bill Martinez gets really close to the center line, rides right down that white stripe, goes 497 at 137 miles an hour. Brandon Lundeen let the button go 52 thousandths of a second too quick, goes 493 at 140 miles an hour. Is Jeremy Rapp and Greg Duffield. Duffield out of Temple, Texas, taking over the right side. Jeremy taking over the left side from right here in Las Vegas. And again, racers, as I was saying just a moment ago, please keep in mind and remember that essentially it is 1 run per entry in each of the time runs. Essentially, you want to make sure that for each session, if you have already made your run for your entry in this session, hey, just hang tight. We'll be getting into the next go-round here in a little while. But again, we are wrapping up the first session of time trials with our yellow sticker dragsters. We got Pro 38 sitting back in the staging lanes, and I understand that we're going to be looking at round number 2 of the shootout. Coming up after Pro 38, Jeremy hits 61 thou early 701. Greg Duffield goes 008 on the red side and runs 495 as Chris Sons and Courtney Russell. Russell coming in out of Ardmore down in Alabama. And Sons coming in out of Tennessee on the left side. Better the 2 goals good time, 129 on the tree and 464 at 147 miles an hour. Courtney Russell goes 478 at 143 miles an hour. And again, racers, just kind of a reminder as we do get our way rolling through the weekend, looks like everybody that had their golf cart sitting over in the fire lane have gotten those cleared out of there. Again, those 2 lanes do need to remain clear. Those are the lanes that are off to the opposite side of the orange cones back in the staging lanes, essentially what used to be lanes 9 and 10 here. Those are now a designated fire lane. We've got to make sure that we keep those clear. And then for everybody else, remember that we do need to keep golf carts and any wheeled vehicles out of the grandstands. That's one of those fire marshal rules that throughout the event, we've got to make sure that those stay out of the grandstands. And we'll just make sure that we keep everybody happy in that aspect. Still running through our yellow sticker dragsters. Finish up round green side over the right, 482, 142. Left lane 449 at 154 miles an hour as AJ Thomas out of Chowchilla, California, going to roll up next. So AJ over on the left side. In set. AJ misses the tree by 4 thousandths of a second. 481 at 142 miles an hour. Dragster on the right side. AJ goes 584 at 116 miles an hour. Well, all right. Continuing on with time trials, only interested to see what the twin dragster, or the twin turbo car is going to be able to do on the right side. 461, 149 miles an hour was 30 on the tree. 452 at 151 miles an hour left side. We're ahead by 6 thousandths of a second. So with our yellow sticker dragsters rolling through here and getting things underway. Hey, American Dragster Shootout, round number 2. We need our American Dragster Shootout contestants for round number 2. Back into the staging lanes. We'll take you into lanes 7 and 8, please. American Dragster Shootout cars. Back into the lanes for round number 2, lanes 7 and 8, please. So lanes 7 and 8 for our American Dragster Shootout cars. Back to the staging lanes for round number 2. Come on. Robbie Gear, 479 at 143 miles an hour. He missed the tree by 12 thousandths of a second. Right side, 022 and 593. As Kyle Hergemuller out of Brighton, Colorado. That's what I'm going to go with. And Rafa Flores. But the third racer coming in out of Monterrey, Mexico. I know that they rolled in here Monday, put up their post on the Facebook page. Thanks to Mr. Ortiz, who's kind of like the team spokesman, kind of like the team captain. He's up here doing all the coordinating. And I guess I'm going to correct that. It's Kyler Hergemuller, if I'm even getting that last name right. But he's out of Brighton, Colorado, taking over the Pennzoil side of the racetrack. Again, for those of you that are kind of watching along on the live feed, Summit side, left lane here at the Strip at Las Vegas. Pennzoil lane to the right lane. It's going to be Rafa going red by 27 thousandths of a second. Kyler, 12 on the tree and 462 at 148 miles an hour. Rafa, after we went red, ends up running 648, lifting up off of the throttle. And coasting through is, we'll take a look at, that's going to be Ken Nelson out in front. Or if it's going to be the second generation of Nelson racers. Going up against John Birchtorf. Bergtorf? JB. Over on the left side. Nelson's coming down, I believe, at 8 Idaho. Home base of the cars that are going to go nose to tail over the right side. 527, 129 miles an hour. For the first runner, unfortunately, John Bergtorf is going to be pulling over as he got that car down to just past the 330-foot cone. Comes to a stop about 450 feet down the racetrack. That's going to get the little red flashing lights going at the top end of the racetrack, and they're going to be headed this way. So John is going to need some help. You know, looks like they're going to get the quad hooked up. So with our safety team out there hooking them up, we're going to let them do what they need to do down there, and we'll get back at it again. Time trials are underway. Once we get our time trials underway, and it looks like maybe what we've got is kind of trying to see down there on the view from Chad's angle. But it looks like they've got them all set up and ready to go. All right, so certainly going to be a little interesting here in our first session of time trials is you need a dragster that came to a stop out there, I believe Rafa's car, get it towed up.
Looking for high performance?
Jegs.
Shop online now for name brand performance parts at the lowest prices. Huge in-stock selection. Your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed at the place for performance.
Jegs.com.
Here, Trev. One of them's already done. The other one going to be running now, but Team Hart. Down the racetrack before we get done. Taking a little quiet moment. We'll resume time trials here in a moment. Hamilton in the Tapatio car. All right, and now it's Chuck Babcock. Kind of slipped by me over here. So now it's Chuck on the right. And Hamilton, who's part of that Tapatio race team. Lined up on the left. Again, time trials just about finished up for round number 1. And hey, racers, just kind of a reminder, especially since we're out here battling it out in American Race Cars Shootout round number 2 that's going to be coming up here in just a moment. We had 5044 for Steve Hamilton, 5039 for the dragster on the right of Chuck Babcock. But again, as we are making our way through, hey, don't forget that for everybody that's out here, of course, everybody's got friends and family back home. They're all following along, watching your feeds on Facebook. Hey, just kind of repost that live link to the Bang Shift live feed. So repost the link to the Bang Shift live feed. Get it all over Facebook. Get everybody tuning in and watching what Chad's doing up there on the tower. Again, big thanks to Jegs and Hoosier for helping to put that together, making sure that we got that live feed going. Racer out of Castro Valley, California is going to go 630. Lori Warden 5023 at 136 miles an hour. Speaking of like folks that have found a lot of success at the Fling, Lori was in the Shootout last year. I guess they decided they didn't really want to jump in it this year because, well, they've already got a dragster or two from last year. So as Lori clears the top end of the racetrack, I do kind of see at least what I believe to be the end of the line coming around this way. Before round number 2 of the Shootout, 457, 149 miles an hour left side, 487, $140 on the right. Continue to roll through. We're getting closer, I promise. And yes, Greg, you will see some racing tonight. You can watch all the time trials you want. You'll see some racing tonight. Jason Lynch, left side. Part of that Cars Protection Plus team out of Cedar Hill, Tennessee. For Team Tedesco. I'll tell you what, just kind of watching some of the cars that have rolled through here today, and I know I've only seen portions of them, as this second grouping of time trials is getting ready to come to a close. But I think that Todd Barton Design's best appearing car thing is going to be so hard this year. That is going to be a Lynch left 7/1000ths of a second too quick. And then goes 474, 008 green on the right side, 482 at 142 miles an hour. Bringing out Marco's second car. Pair of Valaris, who made an appearance in round number 1 of the American Race Cars Dragster Shootout, unfortunately did not light up the scoreboard, unfortunately for him. His opponent was pretty happy, but Marco pretty much kind of out of the hunt for the car. By 0.08 of a second, goes to a 4:55.5. Driver on the left side missing the tree by 0.04 of a second. Ends up going 4:73 as Michael Pennington going to roll up, and Jake Howard chiming in, letting us know that the Black Vega is also known as the Fuchs Dozer. Really? Boots dozer. All right. Obviously a little play on the bulldozer thing here. I'm assuming, whatever the case may be, but from wherever Jake hails from, the Blue Vega and the Black Vega, they're the Boots dozers. Pretty cool. Ooh, 128 on the street, not cool. Time run 594, 114 miles an hour. Pennington goes 474. Goes 144 miles an hour. Mia Tedesco, John Kastner. Next. Anyway, Kastner in one of the Larson Farms entry cars. Coming in out of Minnesota. Makes sense. The Larson family, kind of big up there in the Minnesota area. Stumbled. I would agree with that. Definitely a stumble. Mia on the left side out of Pittsburgh. Jumped early. Just a minute ago he said 128 was a stumble. 257 is a, yeah, that's a flat out trip. 471, 148 miles an hour. Mia goes 460 at $150 is Stephen McCrory. Coming in out of Georgia, and I do start to see our Pro 38 cars moving out of the staging lane. So they are starting to roll up this direction, and once we get through that Pro 38, we're going to have round number 2 of the Dragster Shootout coming up. Jake, I got to tell you, I like it now. McCrory ran by 17 thousandths of a second. The car just kind of quit after that. Other side, we had a 007 red light, 480 with a 2 at 142 miles an hour. For the Pennington ride.
All right, attention in the pits, attention in the pits. We will take door cars with a black run sticker to stage in lanes 1 and 2. Door cars with a black run sticker. We will take you to stage in lanes 1 and 2 for your second time run. Door cars, black run sticker only. Stage in lanes 1 and 2 for your second time run.
Mark Garsow's car is pretty easy to pick out of a crowd because it doesn't have the wing, it doesn't have the great big old scoop sticking up over the roll cage. It's pretty much, and I love the way that Reinhardt describes it, it's one of those that in the shop you can push it under the bench to get it out of the way because it will fit under the tool bench. Vinny Domino on the other side. Second half of the Staten Island group. 54 on the tree for Vinny, 22 on the bowl for Mark, as Mark's going to go 504. Vinny's going to run 469. And that's going to bring up our final car. Time trial number 1. And it's going to be Calvin Locke. Calvin out of Chandler, Arizona. Going to take his trip down that Pennzoil side of the track. And then we've got Pro 38 at the ready for their second go around the time. 5:15, 132 miles an hour. And the dragsters have wrapped up round number 2. So again, on an FST carburetor, time trial Tuesday, we've got our Pro 38 category at the ready. Again, it is the W.W. Williams Pro 38 category, as Jeremy Wilson and Dustin Henry going to be the first two. Jeremy, 73 Vega wagon, coming in out of Grand Junction, Colorado. Little small block Chevrolet 436 under the hood, and Jeremy, who's been kind of chasing a whole bunch of the big dollar bracket races in his black and orange wagon, lining up against Dustin Henry. Henry coming in out of New Mexico in the S10 pickup truck. Henry on the right side. Wilson on the left. Yes, sir.
May I?
Of course, Peter.
Prize vault. Best reaction time in the Pro 38 time run session right here is going to walk away with a Crew Chief Pro $300 gift certificate.
Look out, Jeremy. Jeremy leads the line and makes a dart towards the Christmas tree. He'll get up out of the throttle, goes 820 at 74 miles an hour. Dustin goes 37 on the tree, best so far. I know that won't hold up. But 37 on the tree and 569 at 121 miles an hour. All right, so you said we're digging into the vault and we're going to get what? $300 for Crew Chief Pro gift certificate. Okay. Best reaction time in the Pro 38 category. So far, 37 leads the way. That's going to go away like right here. Brandon Umberger in the Chevette, Mark Kidd in the Nova, which he had bought brand new just before they showed up here in November for the Thanksgiving race. Well, it went away, but not by much. Mark Kidd, 035 on the tree. Kidd's going to be the leader in the clubhouse. 614 at 110 miles an hour for Mark Kidd in the Chevy Deuce. Brandon Umberger in the Jelly Bean ends up running 583 at 117 miles an hour. As Joe Olev out of Mount Home, Idaho, 71 bodied Camaro. Brian King from Pahrump. What? Brian moved to Pahrump? No. I don't think he did. Did he really? Whoa, Brian. He gets a little squirrely. He got the 013, so that puts him top of the heap for the $300 worth of Crew Chief Pro. Joe Olev was early, missed the tree by 94 thousandths of a second, then run 622 at 109 miles an hour. What, did we interrupt Pro 38? Never mind, we just got a dragster running in Pro 38. Okay, okay, I'll go with that, right? He came in and he went, it's a pro car. Josh Green, Shelbyville, Tennessee. '68 Nova, sitting on the right side. And they are taking a really close look out in front of Chris Stout's car. Just to make sure that there was nothing left out there. And again, remember that Pro 38 cars, once we're back into the door cars, just a reminder, not saying that it is or it isn't, but just a reminder, take a really, really close look underneath of those cars. You never know where a little water may be hiding out. You know, pop the trunk, make sure there's nothing tucked back in there. Pop the hood, make sure there's nothing sitting up under, you know, where you may have your shock mounts or whatever the case may be. But as soon as you get out here and line them up, front tires come off the ground, water shifts. You just want to make sure you got nothing left from the rainstorm that rolled through here. We got the torch out there taking care of it. Chris Stout and Josh Green. Stout sporting 350 cubic inches worth in the 73 Vega. Pre-stage stage bolt slick. Ready? Go. Josh Green left early. Chris Stout was 032 on the street. 013 light. Holds on. One more prayer for the $300 gift certificate. Stout's going to finish the run 717 at 94 miles an hour. Josh Green goes 608 at 110 miles an hour as Carla Greenow. Maybe it's Greenough. If you're racing out here with Carla, come up and let me know. And big block Sean Anderson out of Eau Claire, Washington. 15-bodied Camaro. We saw Sean make an appearance in round number 1 of the Dragster Shootout. And I do like that, Howard. Mean Josh Green from Tennessee. He is tough. Carla the Mustang, she's over to Pennzoil's side of the racetrack. Go 37 on the 3 and big block Sean. Gonna go 3,000 too quick, 644 for the Camaro down the racetrack. Carla's gonna end up running 684 at 98 miles an hour. We're gonna bring up Cole Herbold. I'm gonna have to ask my wife for a correct pronunciation. I don't even know if she would know where Seguin, I don't know, Texas. And Howard DeVore, that's the dog. It says Hound Dog on the side of the 69 body Nova. 013 Brian King, right now, for that $300 worth of Crew Chief Pro software gift certificate. All right, Jake. Oh, Howard DeVore picks the pocket, puts himself in the leader's spot for the $300 worth of Crew Chief Pro gift certificate. 004 and 672 for Howard DeVore. Granted, it's the 004 that matters as far as the best overall reaction time. Cole Herbold, 032 on the red side, and then goes 512. We'll bring out Jesse Adams and Ryan Smith. Smith in the Chop Top 63 Ford Falcon. I absolutely adore that race car.
But can he beat a 004?
I don't know if he can beat a 004, Pete. The answer is no. Jesse Adams can tie a 004, but he didn't do it first. And it's not like we're going to rip the gift certificate in half, be like, oh, here, like they do in a golf tournament. Like, oh, the two of you split it. No, you don't. There is an advantage to showing up in the staging lanes early, and that is when the prize vault opens, you get like the first shot at being the one to win it. So Jesse's 004, but it's not going to really count because he did it second. So Howard DeVore staying in the leader's spot as Kelly Sanders and Steve Lambert are going to come up next. And the cool thing about Steve Lambert's El Camino, it's still got the sunroof in it. I like El Caminos, and I like El Caminos with a sunroof in it. He did. He wanted $300 worth of Crew Chief Pro software, and he missed the tree by 0.02 of a second. 644 to buck 06. Kelly Sanders out of Portales, New Mexico, in the 67 Camaro. 044 on the red side as Michael Pliska. The Vega out of Happy Valley, Oregon, and Dan Fletcher. Fletcher in the 69 Camaro, and the stories abound about his car, and it's just, I mean, really cool when you every time you see that car roll onto the racetrack, to know that it is absolutely, without a doubt, the winningest car. And then it's your favorite, 666.
I wasn't going to say it.
I don't have any issue saying it.
All right, Dan, get that 666 out of the way now.
617 for Michael Pliska. He was 14 on the tree.
The inside joke there, Dan, if Dan's wife is listening, and the rest of the Bank Shift crew, is I never say never. I rarely ever say never. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. But I will never dial a 666. No matter what. Even if it just ran 666 3 times in a row, I'll find a way to dial it 7, 8, 5, whatever I have to do. I won't do it. Just don't like it.
I understand that.
Bad omen.
I understand that. You'll probably dial at 668 and go like duct tape a nut underneath of the accelerator just so that it can chase you under. Whatever it takes. That hammer over the left side. Ron Nichols going up against Brad Burton. Brad, who parked his car in the winner's circle here last weekend at the divisional. Brad goes 6.705, 99 miles an hour. Ron Nichols, the Oldsmobile, 17 green and 761. Matt Kielman. How about the Division 6 champ? lining up on the left side, and Cliff Hall out of Carmichael, California, 65 Mustang. Boy, did he do an upsize on that motor. 520 cubic inches worth of Ford for Cliff. He went big. Matt Keelman like downsized. Keelman missed it by 7 thousandths of a second. Cliff Hall missed it by 3 thousandths of a second. 616, 111 miles an hour for Cliff. Matt Keelman goes 6700 at 100 miles an hour. That's going to bring up Nasty Nick Hastings.
Let me say something. Let me interrupt
Please.
just for a quick second. These four under the tower right here, Nasty Nick Hastings, Edmund Ellison, Tibor Kadar,
Andy Schmall.
and Andy Schmall, have a very good chance of beating the 004. This is, I can't say, I mean, there's so many good drivers out there, but this is definitely some of the best in the business right here, right now. Off the bottom bulb at nighttime, let's see what they have.
They took a swing at it. Edmund missed the tree by 9 thousandths. Nick Hastings was 013, goes 622 at 110 miles an hour. Edmund 664 at 100 miles an hour.
All right, Tibor Kadar, Andy Schmall, 004 to beat. Only 2 pairs left
All
for the
right.
Crew Chief Pro software.
Well, Tibor, Andy, 028 and 029. Andy was 028, goes 622. Tibor 668. And here's the one thing that I can tell you. The $300 gift certificate will go to somebody driving a Nova.
Good odds.
I'm just saying. Call me crazy, but Howard DeVore his Nova's already run. Jake Guadagnolo and Brandon. So you remember Jake's car, right?
I love the way Jake's car leaves the line.
It's cold tonight, or cooler.
About as good as the air gets in Vegas right now.
That car is going to fly.
Rear wheel 60 foot. I'm calling it right lane.
Well, we'll see how he's got it pumped up. Brandon Schmall out of team rolling over on the left side.
So right now, Howard DeVore 004 is a leader in the clubhouse. These are the last 2 that could take a swing at it for the Crew Chief Pro gift cert. $300 worth.
Yeah, rear wheel 60 foot. Jake was 118 on the tree. Brandon missed it by 3 thousandths of a second. So Howard DeVore, your 004, going to get you $300 worth of Crew Chief Pro software gift certificate. So Howard, come on up here to the tower and see Sean. You just earned yourself $300 worth of gift certificates.
And Nate, just an FYI, as we have just a couple of dragsters going to make a time run here before we get back into round 2 of the shootout. We have given away exactly $600 worth of prizes so far. We have, if my math is right, in the prize vault, still remaining for the rest of the week, $59,400 worth of prizes. We're just getting started. We have $60,000 worth of racer appreciation giveaways this week.
If
Speechless.
No, I'm looking at the pace that we're on, Pete. We're coming down to the end of Tuesday. You guys had all that time while it was raining. You've been through 1% of $60,000 in prizes. You've given away 1%. We're now down to just 4 days.
I was waiting for you to get here, Nate.
I'm just saying,
you're
you're on pace to have all the prizes given out by July. Here's the 470, 344 miles an hour on the right side, 001 on the tree. 19 green left side, 460 on the tree. One more dragster, and then it is round number 2 for the door car shootout, or excuse me, for the dragster shootout. 24, still in the game. Quick little clearing of the throat. At 147 miles an hour.
So Howard DeVore, come see Sean. Pick up your Crew Chief Pro gift certificate for $300 worth, courtesy of that nice 004 reaction time. So once again, we called door cars with a black run sticker. Door cars, if you have a black run sticker and you want to make this second time run session, you should bring it to the lanes now.
So we've got a handful of them already making their way back here. Again, our round number 2. So with round number 2 underway for the American race car Tuesday dragster shootout, Dustin D. Long, Larry Richardson. Dustin was down 462, gets there first, takes 10 thou and breaks out by 2 thou. Larry Richardson 006 and picks up the win light, running 486 on a 484. Richardson advancing into round number 3 as we bring up Shane Thompson and Alex Sandin. Sandin coming in at Hermosillo down in Mexico. 596 the dial-in on the 74 body Dart, and Shane Thompson, who's pretty much like he's in like the car rental business here this weekend. He's got 3 cars here on property that I know of. He may have a few more that he may roll out of the trailer a little bit later. But Shane has just got folks flying in from all over to drive his car. Shane's piloting his own 67 Nova out of Henderson, and of course Shane, the guy behind the Maytag Silver State Refrigeration that's sponsoring Wednesday and Friday. Alex Sandin coming up out of south of the border, 596. Shane Thompson doing the chasing. Thompson had lined up, pointed a little bit at the Christmas tree, but 504 on a 504. Last time down the racetrack, Thompson was trip zip on the tree and 3 thou under. After his opponent went red, this time it's 18 green and 5 thou above, as Shane Thompson has got the Nova locked in, as he did a couple of weekends ago. Racing here at just a local bracket race. Dan Northrop, guessing, out of Pipersville, Pennsylvania. And Brian Watts. Watts coming in out of Pasco in the 69 bodied Camaro, dialed in at 635. Dan Northrop dialed in at 486. Camaro gets a big head start. Here comes the dragster. Rolling down the racetrack, 5 thousandths between them in reaction time. Dan goes 488 on a 486. 17 green, takes 6 thou at the stripe. Brian Watts couldn't quite get there. 22 thou above the dial-in and 22 on the tree for a 44 pack. Dan Northrop sneaks by at the finish line and picks up the win as Aaron Johnson and Shane Carr going to be the next two. Shane, talking about, Shane Thompson's car rental business. Shane Carr picked up one of those and said, yeah, I'll take that one. Made a quick lap in it earlier in the day. They liked what they saw. 443, the number up on the Pennzoil side of the scoreboard for Aaron Johnson out of Springdale, Arkansas. The Worthy chassis ride. Dialed in at 495. Head start to the left lane as Shane Carr blinks on the bottom half of the LEDs. Red light start for Shane. 004 early. 4-inch dragster falls by the wayside as Aaron Johnson goes 495 on a 495. Aaron Johnson was there for the pick and he was 045 on the tree. Shane Carr just a tick too quick. 4 ticks to be exact. But Shane fouls out. Aaron Johnson advances to round number 3. And Zach, the answer to that big question is absolutely. Big Jet is going to be here. He's going to fly in a little bit later on Wednesday. That is granted that he can dodge like those big old storms that are headed down through the south part of the U.S. So if you are hanging out down there, anybody who's listening in on the chat boards, if you are part of the country that's going to be affected by those storms that I see headed that way, hey, thoughts are with you and hopefully everything goes okay. We hope that you and yours are all well once those things roll through. But yeah, Big Jet will be here. Larry Erickson and Andy Taylor. 10 foul between them in reaction time. Finish line says Andy Taylor going to light up the scoreboard. 17 green and 58 on a 58. He's dead 9, getting there second. Larry Erickson 007 took 40 thou at the stripe and breaks out 71 on a 74 dial. So Erickson early and out. Jennifer Weens now and Tanner Hyatt next two. Tanner on the right side. For Team A&K Earth Movers, Jennifer Weens. For Team Ted Weens Tire and Auto Centers, Jennifer dialed in at 453. Ted must be at the game, huh? Is it Jesse? 77. Both drivers leave early. True Start wouldn't have changed that one anyway. Tanner Hyatt was leaving first, 462. Red by 14 thou. Jennifer, 001 on the early side, goes 451 on a 453. So I'm a little bit kind of confused. Maybe it is Jesse. I'll just find out. We'll see. Hunter Patton and Kurt Gross. Kurt at Oregon City, 498 is the dial. Hunter Patton dialed in at 459. Both drivers are green. Hunter's total control of this one. 16 green, 460 on a 459. Kurt Gross had an 060 light and went 499.
Yeah, Nate, you cannot give Hunter Patton
No.
500s to work with on the starting line. He will make you pay for it every time.
Absolutely. Speaking of a couple of guys that'll make you pay for it, Lane Dickin lining up over on the left side. Guy coming in out of Tennessee and first started going back to the Fling in Bristol. Going to see which names pop up over and over and over again, and Lane's name is exactly one of those. Blake Allen over on the other side out of Veneta, Oklahoma. 492 the dial in for Blake right side. Lane Dickin giving up the head start with a 447 dial. Lane Dickin's going to call it quits. Blake Allen 493 on a 492 after his 014 on the reaction clock. Lane goes 028 and then 446. He took 11th thou at the stripe. So there was nothing he was going to be able to really do with it. Blake Allen getting the win light is Justin Cooper and Mike Rock. Get him, Rock.
Attention to pits, attention to pits. We call door cars with a black run sticker. We will now take door cars with a yellow run sticker to the stage of lanes for your second time run session. Door cars with a black run sticker are pulling under the arch. We will now take door cars with a yellow run sticker to the stage of lanes for your second time run session. Come on.
So Justin's 491 dial in right side. Mike Rock 517 the dial in over on the left side, or excuse me, the right side. Washington versus Idaho, green drop, green. Oh. Good night, Justin Cooper. Sleep tight. Unfortunately, Mike Rock hit Justin Cooper with a 1-pack. Justin, 1 was the first number in the reaction time. Mike, the train horns were like really just kind of blaring out there as you took a 10th plus at the stripe and you trusted your dial wholeheartedly. I respect you for that. 001 dead zero, took a 10th plus at the stripe, and you did it, man. Good for you. You got the win. You're moving on to round number 3. Who am I to second guess? I'm not. Just saying. Morgan Thompson and Mark Barnhart. Barnhart dialed in at 461. Morgan Thompson, unfortunately, is going to check out. He goes red by 4 thousandths of a second. Barnhart, 4606 on a 461, was 001 on the tree as well. Morgan goes down to be 58 on a 57, but the red light turned on this end of the racetrack. And that was going to be pretty much going to be that part. As we are now going to bring out Jeff Burns and the Boogs Dozer. I like it. I don't know if I'm saying it right, because I got 2 different spellings of it, but it's the Vega back again. So Burns out of Tennessee, 446 dial for the dragster. 594 dial for the Enfield side of the racetrack. All right, I get it. Stumbled in the other black, or the black Vega this time. Let's just say that something had to have gone wrong with the car. That ain't right. But yeah, he missed the tree badly. Jeff Burns was 005 and then goes 454 down the racetrack. Unfortunately, the wagon was nowhere to be found. It was still sitting back here on the starting line. I don't know this. I'm going to turn around and ask the guy behind me. So Kenny Snow. Tom Bayer's car out of California dialed in 5 flat. FTI ride right side. 466.0, 009 on the tree. Take 3 thou with the stripe. Okay. So Troy Williams, 009 dead 0. Tightening up the stripe to 3 thou. So our 24 have become 12. We're going to continue to make our way through time trials here. We'll get our...
How do you improve on a classic? Modernize it with Sniper fuel injection from Holley. For only $9.99, Sniper eliminates cold start issues, hesitations, vapor lock, flooding, and fuel odors. Sniper installs with just 4 wires and self-tunes while you drive. Sniper replaces most 4-barrel carbs and is now available in a 2-barrel. Install a Sniper system, then get in, start it up, and enjoy driving your ride more today.
The quality is obvious. That's why Mark Williams high torque axles are the most trusted in drag racing. MW axles are forged from superior alloys and are tempered for higher strength and ductility. Each axle is custom machined for the exact application, including length, taper, and spline. Special attention is paid to the splines, which are true involute for more efficient engagement. Weight is important in drag racing, and MW gives you 3 options allowing you to cut unsprung axle weight almost in half. Invest in the best. Mark Williams high torque axles.
Industry-leading cams don't happen by accident. Ours are the result of 40-plus years of innovation. The horsepower delivered by our camshafts are determined long before they make it to the grinding process. At Comp Cams, nothing escapes consideration. From research and design to testing, manufacturing, and quality control. When it comes to our products, no detail is too small. It's what sets us apart. It's why people have put their trust in us for over 4 decades. Comp Cams, no comparison.
Okay. Well, with that, we're going to go back into time trials for our door cars. They're going to run through for a little while, and we'll be back at it here in un momento. Hey, so just real quick, we are taking a little break up here in the tower. It's Tuesday night, it's time trials. So if you are listening in on the live feed and you don't hear the announcer, it's not because anything's broken, so don't blow those guys up there going, oh, we can't hear, we can't. We're just taking a little break, you know what I mean? We're just going to save ourselves because we have got 4 very, very full days coming up over the next little while. So just give me the heads up.
By the way, mate,
Yes, sir.
officially the biggest spring fling we've ever had. I'm not sure the official car count yet, but it definitely is the biggest spring fling we've ever had on either coast. So thank you, guys and gals and racers, from coming from all across the country. I don't know what the official car count is. I've had a lot of people ask, but I know it's over 500. I know that our highest car count was 512. And I know we are definitely going to be above that, and I know it's going to be an exciting race. Spring Fling Million Friday, the purse is going to be up there.
It's going to be exciting. So again, big days coming up. Taking a little break up here. It is an FST Tuesday. Time trials are underway. Before we get back at it with our next go-round of time trials, or excuse me, our next go-round of the Dragster Shootout, we'll definitely come back up here, but for now, just gonna take a little break. Listen to the sound of the cars. If you're out on the East Coast, it's already midnight. Just kind of leave the live feed up, and like waves crashing against the shore, you can hear the cars go by. It's just kind of a naturally soothing sound, right? I can sleep through Top Fuel.
Whether you're looking for a filter for your daily driver or your hot rod, K&N has what you need. Keep it clean. Choose K&N. Optima Batteries, with a 40-year history of technological innovation and engineering. Optima products offer batteries in existence and revolutionize the industry with the unique spiral cell technology. Look for the distinctive Optima 6-pack shape to get the ultimate power source every day, everywhere. In need of a new fire suit? You want to look good in the winner's circle? Sparco and Biondo Racing Products have joined forces to bring the quality and safety of Sparco racing suits to the drag racing community. Combining comfort, lightness, and breathability, Sparco offers the best in SFI-5 and Get sized up for your new Sparco gear. Silver State Refrigeration is your source for all of your refrigeration needs in Nevada, Arizona, and California. Started in 2003 with only 2 employees, Silver State now has over 150 employees servicing both commercial and residential customers. All Silver State technicians are both CPA and NATE certified and have an A++ rating with both Jags has been a part of Kyle and Peter's Spring Fling events from the start because they know what racers are looking for in a big buck bracket race. Get the high performance. Or click on jags.com. Tire covers, logbooks, parts, and more parts. 100% guaranteed with free shipping. The place for performance, Jags. W. Williams is the proud sponsor of the Pro 38 this week at the K&N Spring Fling Million. We are also at the event, so please come by and see us for any needs you might have for your coach or truck while at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. At FTI Performance, we are proud to be associated with a top-notch event like the Spring Fling Million. Depend on the power and reliability of FTI to get to the winner's circle. Visit FTIperformance.com today. Racepack is proud to be the Thursday 30K to Win Day sponsor. During the Thursday 30K to Win race. Use Racepack data and stop guessing. Hoosier Racing Tire is proud to be a participating sponsor of the K&N Spring Fling bracket races. Let our performance race tire technology help put you in the winner's circle. When you're looking for an advantage, remember the name Hoosier. See us on the We're headquartered in Riverside, California, and we'd like to welcome you to the Spring Fling Million. Please visit www.fstcrb.com for all your carburetor needs. What do Luke Bagaki and Edmund Richardson have in common? They both recently won NHRA World Championships using their American race cars as their dragster of choice. Call Travis Colangelo and the Racers and American, or visit www.americanracecars.net. Endo Custom Machines and Automotive Custom Paint Shop in San Antonio, Texas. We are a proud sponsor of the K&N Spring Fling Million. We also teamed up with American Race Cars, American Brand. Are you looking for a new chassis, or maybe someone who understands what you need for your current race car? Then check out Race Tech Race Cars and Components. Race Tech Race Cars, for winners only. A proud sponsor of the Spring Fling. How would you like to have champion racers you know and trust to hand-pick the best products in the industry for you and your vehicle? With 25 years in the business and 8 NHRA World Championships, Sal and Peter Biondo of Biondo Racing Products will get you the right parts at the right prices, along with unmatched racer-friendly advice. From safety equipment, all the dealers at Biondo, or visit BiondoRacing.com. A proud sponsor of the Spring Fling Million, Brodex gives away a set of heads at Vegas, Galat, and Bristol, plus the presenting sponsor of the run for the $50,000 in Vegas. Strength, durability, and power are just a few factors that make Brodex the best in the industry.
right, so attention in the pits, a important announcement. Need every racer's attention. If you're a dragster driver, you can load it up for tonight, as the door car session will complete FST Carburetor Tuesdays activities. So we hung in there through the rain. You guys had a lot of patience. We appreciate it. But the temps are starting to fall and the dew point's starting to get up there. So after this door car session, we're going to wrap it up for FST Tuesday. right, so that's going to be a wrap for FST Time Trial Tuesday. We appreciate all of you racers' patience throughout the rain delay. We appreciate the track staff, did their best. We all hung in there, did our best to get through and give everybody at least one time run. So with that said, we will get into tomorrow's schedule. Tomorrow will be Maytag 30K Wednesday. So Maytag 30K Wednesday, we're going to kick things off at 8 a.m. And we have a huge turnout of cars. I mean, you guys have showed up and showed up big from every part of the country. We appreciate it. This is going to be our biggest spring fling ever. We've been doing it 10 years. We've had 17 spring and fall flings combined, and this is going to be the top. So with that said, we have a boatload of cars.
Ladies and gentlemen, Noah, it is McTaggart. We are live here in Las Vegas.
I'm here too.
He's going to the truck where it's nice and warm. We're done for the night. As soon as we know a start time, we will let you know. Right now, we don't. Just know that we are going to be here. We will have this running, and we're here all week. So we want to thank the sponsors. We definitely want to thank Jegs and Hoosier for the live stream. They're the ones that are providing it. So thank them, support them. Appreciate it, folks. Our longtime sponsors, everybody's throwing this together. We appreciate it. Like I said, as soon as we know what time we're kicking off tomorrow, we will let you know. So keep watch the Bang Shift page. We will put it up as soon as we have, as soon as we know what's going on. So, on behalf of bankshift.com, on behalf of the sponsors, on behalf of the Bearded Wonder here, I am McTaggart. We will see you all in the morning. Good night.
How do you improve on a classic? Modernize it with Sniper Fuel Injection from Holley. For only $9.99, Sniper eliminates cold start issues, hesitations, vapor lock, flooding, and fuel odors. Sniper installs with just 4 wires and self-tunes while you drive. Sniper replaces most 4-barrel carbs and is now available in a 2-barrel. Install a Sniper system, then get in, start it up, and enjoy driving your ride more today.
The quality is obvious. That's why Mark Williams high-torque axles are the most trusted in drag racing. MW axles are forged from superior alloys and are tempered for higher strength and ductility. Each axle is custom machined for the exact application, including length, taper, and spline. Special attention is paid to the splines, which are true involute for more efficient engagement. Weight is important in drag racing, and MW gives you 3 options allowing you to cut unsprung axle weight almost in half. Invest in the best. Mark Williams High Torque Axles.
Industry-leading cams don't happen by accident. Ours are the result of 40-plus years of innovation. The horsepower delivered by our camshafts are determined long before they make it to the grinding process. At Comp Cams, nothing escapes consideration. From research and design to testing, manufacturing, and quality control. When it comes to our products, no detail is too small. It's what sets us apart. It's why people have put their trust in us for over 4 decades. Comp Cams, no comparison.